Hello, my name is Eddie Tofpik. I'm Head of Technical Analysis and Senior Markets Analyst at ADM Investor Services International Limited. And here is your daily technical analysis of Brent crude oil and spot gold.
ICE Brent crude oil futures. A reactionary bullish white soldier yesterday, with the last two sessions having elements of a pipe bottom, even an island pattern. This was all a follow-on from the bearish stick sandwich pattern the market made after a fashion late last week. Prices punched up through the following: the middle time currently at 84.92 of the newly drawn late September to late October bearish shift pitchfork, then the rising medium moving average currently at 85.51, and the interesting October 2018 high at 86.67. But they still left a gap between there and the 50% overhead Fibonacci line of the November 2020 to March 22 move at 87.41. All this has, interestingly, left the actions over the last couple of days as a possible island pattern. Something I will leave for a couple of sessions before exploring further, just in case. One could also look at the action since the peak in September to date as a possible three-gap move lower, with a breakaway gap in late September, a continuation gap at the end of October, and a possibility of an exhaustion gap below in the offing, potentially somewhere in the 78 even area. This requires a little more consideration, but I wanted to lodge the idea with you early on. Such an idea will have to overcome some pretty heavy-duty supports at the long moving average, currently 82.56, and the interesting 61.8% Fibonacci line of the 2014 to 2016 move at 81.86. So far today, well, a higher on, a follow-on higher to yesterday's reactionary move, but still not quite filling in the gap left over from 2 days ago. Spot gold. A second, if smaller, indecisive piece of action yesterday, this time an indecisive spinning top, instead of the previous indecisive doji cross. As I said earlier this week, and I quote, "The recent run-up may have overexerted itself," end of quote. Topside, we still have the September 2020 high at 1992. Meanwhile, support below still seems to be the November 2020 high at 1965. And the 2021 high at 1959. Overall, I would like to acknowledge the one big picture item that has happened this week. We had a monthly key reversal up for October. Okay, one continuing final thought, and something I have mentioned a few times before. I would continue to look at the action since about August as a diving board pattern. This pattern is inherently bullish, and such a pattern, as seen here, especially after a monthly key reversal up, ought to point to higher prices, which is surprising given how much the market has hesitated at current levels. Now, so far today, well, again, nothing much. Move up towards the September 2020 high, but not really getting there.
Thank you for listening. This short version broadcast gives essential market patterns and consequences. Please be aware of the risk disclaimer posted both at the front and the back of this broadcast. Copyright is Eddie Tofpik and ADM Investor Services International Limited. And here comes the final important bit.